Hello guys and welcome to another video. Why am I holding my laptop? Well, today I'm going to show you my credit score. I'm going to show you exactly how good I am with money, or bad. I think I might be good though when it comes to money. And I'm going to show you my credit score. And I'm going to go through exactly how you can improve your credit score if it's a little bit low or if you're just starting out. Even if you're a bit more seasoned and you want to understand what goes into making a good credit score, I'm going to list those out for you. I've done a bit of research. I understand the process as it is. But if you appreciate everything that I do on this, if you could possibly give this video a big like, it massively helps me out with the algorithm. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. We give away the dividends from our subscriber dividend portfolio, so subscribers are getting cash every single month. And on top of that, we're hoping to give away an investment property in the next year or two as soon as we hit 100K. So guys, please subscribe. Please give it a like. Let's head into the whiteboard and let's get into the video. So guys, welcome to the whiteboard, and we're going into credit scores and exactly what you need when you're looking to borrow and get mortgages and all the rest when it comes to business and raising finance. So traditionally what we would look for is a credit score, if you use Experian for example, of around 750. Now different agencies have different scores. I'm just going to focus on the Experian one because that's the one that I tend to refer back to when it comes to myself. There are other free versions such as like Clear Score, because you're going to need at some point to raise finance. You're going to need at some point to borrow other people's money. And a credit score is going to be absolutely essential for doing that. And even on my last point when it says don't forget financially linked with people who have bad credit, whenever I'm going into business with somebody or looking to do business with someone, I want to know what their credit score is. I want to have a look at their credit report because I want to know who I'm getting into bed with and what the deal is. Are they keeping on top of their payments? Are they the sort of person that I can trust financially? Now in this video I'm going to reveal my own personal credit score. I think that's important for a level of transparency so that people can see exactly what my credit score is. And I'm going to say straight away, having spoken to a few people including some brokers, they've sort of said to me, and that's mortgage brokers, they've said between 700 and 750 would be considered a good score if you're looking at Experian in terms of a credit score, and that would put you in the good scale. Now that's going to be your target. Now what would you do if you weren't already there? Now first of all, I would encourage everybody to check their credit score regularly. It's kind of one of these things that you just want to make sure, like your car, when you get an MOT done, is the car in a good fit state to be driving down the road? Your credit score is, are you in a good fit state to be able to borrow money, leverage finance, and all those sort of great things that are going to allow you to build your portfolio. Now, if your score's below this, there could be many reasons. Firstly, you may have been bad with credit in the past, in which case you might need to do some remedial action. But what I'm going to talk about initially is people who maybe don't have a big credit history and as such need to build their credit profile from scratch. Obviously, if you've missed payments, you need to catch up, you need to get on top of it as soon as you can, because the sooner you get it sorted, the sooner that credit score will start to rise. But if you haven't borrowed money before, you're going to need to start building that credit profile, and borrowing money is going to be the way to do that. Now, people get confused because I don't like new cars. If you're looking to invest, I don't think that new cars are a good idea because they lose a lot of money straight away. And people get confused when I say, you know, £450, £500 a month on a car is too much for the average person. That's not really me giving a vote against finance. I actually think finance is fantastic on cars. I think no matter what I was buying on a car, I would be looking to get vehicle finance. However, what is bad is buying a car that's beyond your means. So for me, when I'm first starting out, the finance payment needs to be as low as possible so that I can keep that spread between income and expenses as large as possible in order to invest. Now, borrowing money is going to be essential for your journey. Now, whether that's buying a car, whether that's buying furniture, whether that's getting a credit card and paying it off at the end of every month, you're going to need to borrow money. Because by borrowing money, you prove to the credit profile agency and to the banks that you have the ability and you're responsible enough to borrow and pay back as agreed. And that's essentially what a credit profile is, right? It's showing the bank, based on past performance, what you're likely to do in the future. So if you've missed loads of payments, if you have had cars that you've maybe not been able to keep on top of, are you the sort of person that's likely to overstretch yourself? And if you are you a good investment when it comes to lending money? Probably not. And that's where the credit profile comes in. So That's not to say that people can't change their ways, right? And that the credit profile can rise, and that's important to say. But, if you've had that sort of history, you're going to need to rebuild that trust. Now, the main things with borrowing money is that you pay on time, and as agreed, you don't miss any payments, and if you do, you catch up quickly. And when it comes to credit cards and accounts that you can draw down on, such as overdrafts, that you stay below 50% of your available balance. So for example, I've got an American Express card with a balance available to me of 20,000. I would want to keep that below 10,000 at all times. And to be honest, I keep it as close to zero as I possibly can. In fact, I believe my Amex card right now is at zero because it's such a high interest rate. I only use it to purchase and then I pay it off at the end of every month. And I use it for points. So generally speaking, I would encourage everybody, if you're going to use credit cards, pay the balance off at the end of every month, but it will help you build your profile. So you do want to have access to these sort of things. Credit profile agencies also take into consideration the amount of credit you have available to you unused. So for example, me having this huge balance that I'm not using shows my ability to not make purchases I don't need to. So that's another good indicator and raises my points. The next thing I have on here is Electoral Roll. If you're going to be gaining credit, people want to know, the people you're borrowing from want to know where you live, and they want to know that you verified that and registered yourself to that address. So the Electoral Roll is key for raising the credit profile. I think it's about 50 points, something like that. So it's quite significant considering how small a job it is. There's a Gov website, you just literally type into Google, put myself on the Electoral Roll. It takes less than 10 minutes and you'll be on the Electoral Roll. So that's an easy win if you want to get easy wins on your credit profile. The next thing I want you to avoid, or that you need to avoid if you want to rise that credit profile, is having too many applications for credit. Now, in a year, I think it says between 3 and 4 is absolutely fine. As you build up your credit profile, I mean, for example, myself, I've got quite a few houses. I'm likely to have far more applications, but it doesn't impact my credit profile that much, considering the amount of money I've got outstanding. And as promised, I'm going to get Nick to just put up there my credit profile. So as you can see, it should be in the excellent. I haven't actually downloaded it yet, so this is a bit blind faith, but it should be excellent. And even if I made a lot of applications tomorrow for things like TV licenses or insurance or any of those sort of things, it's not going to impact my credit profile that heavily because I just have so much available to me and I've been behaving so well for so long. So not having too many applications is really key when you're just starting out. Get a credit card, use it, pay it off at the end of every month. That credit profile will start to build. If you're going to buy a car, get some finance on it, pay it every month, your credit profile will build further. And it takes a bit of time to get this done. But within 12 months, I've seen people go from fairly low credit profiles to excellent credit profiles in a 12-month period. So it can be done within a reasonable time frame. So the last thing I have on this list is don't get financially linked with a bad credit profile person. Now, whenever I'm going to be going into business with someone, I always make sure that I do my due diligence to make sure that they are financially responsible. I wouldn't personally want to go into business with somebody who wasn't able to pay on time, who was willing to miss payments and not make personal sacrifices or sell personal possessions in order to make sure they kept up with their promises. Personally, for me, that would be a big red flag because when I make a promise, I make sure I follow through on that. So I think it's extremely important that when you get linked with people, that you're not linking yourself with somebody who's got a bad credit profile. And a good example would be if you did a joint venture on a property where you've got a joint mortgage together. That's going to link your profiles together and you could potentially suffer badly, not to mention the losses if this individual didn't pay their half of the mortgage or their part of the bills, that you would then be saddled with all of that. But on top of that, it could lead to much worse consequences for your credit profile. And for me, I defend my credit profile vehemently because I just understand how important it is that I have access to finance when it comes to my life. For example, mortgages, even when it's coming to buying cars, I wouldn't want to pay 50 grand for a car. I want to pay £450 a month with 5 grand down. I want to make sure that my properties, my investments are paying those monthlies for me. And by doing that, all I'm doing is borrowing against the value of the house, borrowing against the value of the car, and making sure everything matches up with cash flow. So it's not that complicated, but it is all underpinned by having a strong credit profile so that I can borrow easily. So guys, let me know in the comments what your credit score is. Have a look on Experian. I'd be massively interested to see how everybody's getting on when it comes to their credit score. I think it's really important. I hope this video has given you some insight. I appreciate there's lots and lots and lots of other little factors that come in. But for me, these are the main ones, so I'd make sure that I focused on these first. I've been Mark Parham. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.